Good evening, Fantasy Flyer. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Derek. I am not alone with Taylor, and we are not alone because we have a special guest. Welcome to the show, a good buddy of both me and Taylor's, Mr. Ian Michaud. Gonna play some jams for a minute.
Hey, a very nice song selection there.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was coming.
That was great.
You never know with me. I just want to let you know that. Taylor, you should know that.
That's true.
Welcome to the show, Ian.
Hey, happy to be here, y'all. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. Excited about this whole pod that you guys have had going for a little while here and finally jumping on. It's a beautiful thing.
I want to shout out to Ian. If you're into soccer, Ian is earlier this season we had Zach Graham on the show. It was some point around Thanksgiving, a little before, a little after, somewhere in there. But Zach and Ian both are the two heads of the North End podcast that covers MLS Austin. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Austin FC, MLS news. We do a little gambling stuff now. And always some
Never
fun.
bet. So do we. So it all works in. We're all in the fantasy realm, and that usually those cross paths.
Yeah, dude. I was talking to somebody during like the Super Bowl or something, and just how when we were coming up watching sports, gambling was so hush hush and like this like taboo subject you didn't talk about, and now you can't watch any single sporting event without getting blasted with like 50 commercials for FanDuel or DraftKings, whatever. So
Bet and
it's all coming together.
Yeah, and they announced the announcers are with it too. The callers, the game, the ones who call the game, or they're like, "Oh, fantasy, that's going to affect fantasy." Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's if they have nothing else to talk about at that moment. But sure, if they mention it, they're not afraid to. Well, Ian is going to join us for both this episode and the other part, which we're both going to film tonight because that's how scheduling works and it's lovely. However, part one, we are going to do an entire round one mock draft. I put up my own little ditty of it the other day, which was 2 rounds, but we're just going to do one. We're going to kind of give some thoughts on where these teams could go, or all of the directions these teams could go. We will not be doing trades in these. We're going to keep trades off just so we can kind of keep time under wraps, and also so we can chat a little more, because obviously chatting about trades is fun, but it's not necessarily trade season. This is the draft. So the one rule that I did put in the show plan, which I hope both of you read, is that the very last pick, since there are really only 31 picks, we are going to have to agree on. So that would be the Chiefs, your Super Bowl champions. And I think that's going to be interesting because there's going to be a couple different ways to go, but we're going to pick the champions pick. Who wants to go first? I'll share my screen. I'll upload this. I'm using PFF, the was it Pro Fantasy? Why can't I not remember this? Pro Football Fantasy? Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus.
Yeah.
Yes. Words were difficult once again. But I will share my screen. Give me one hot momento.
This first pick is interesting here. Since we are not trading, this is definitely an interesting spot to be.
Yeah, and if you watch my video, I traded probably the newest outlier that really needs to move some pieces. I traded them up into one, that being the Buccaneers. Needing a quarterback, needing to get rid of some salary. I traded 19.
Whoa.
Yes, you see? Mike Evans and their 19th overall pick, along with a couple other picks for the first overall. Does it fit a Bears need? Yes. Do the Bears get more assets? Yes. Does it fix the Buccaneers losing cap? Yes. So I went ahead and did it. But we have this nice little no trade rule, and I think it's very interesting to see who's actually going to come out. Who wants to take the first one? Because I am assuming we're not trading. I have a couple different theories, but I really have settled on one player. So,
I mean, this pick is getting traded. Like, it definitely is.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting traded.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. Although we're
okay.
not doing trades here, I think we can all agree that the Chicago Bears are going to do something to get more out of this because they
should.
Yeah, they definitely
Should we make an exception for just this first pick?
I don't know. It depends on who. So let's just see, who do you guys think's trading up for it?
I only have 3 teams that I think realistically have a shot to do it.
Well, real quick, if you do that drop down, on the left where it says Houston Texans. It actually gives us whoa, there's
Well,
actually a
hold
lot
on.
more than I realized.
No, it's because I didn't start the draft. So
Oh,
now that
okay.
we're on the clock,
There
in
we go.
quotation.
Oh, interesting.
So it
So
suggests a couple.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which I like. And
all three of the teams for me are on there.
exactly. I agree with a handful of these. Honestly, I think the one that sticks out to me the most is actually there's two. The Raiders and the Panthers are
Okay.
probably the two that stick out to me the most.
Those are those two and the Buccaneers are the two. The Buccaneers are going to be in ditch mode for a lot of their salary. They're 53 million over the cap. Like
Yeah.
obviously you're going to have cap casualties. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin combined for $46 million in cap hit this year. And Mike Evans is 30 and has 1 year left on his deal. The it's in the sand as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Do they have enough to go get the first pick though? Because I mean, do the Bears want to move back 15 spots?
I think it
Or
really
excuse me, 18 spots?
I think it really comes down to whether they want to pick up those assets because you can get obviously Evans with 1 year at 30 years old isn't a guarantee. The 19th pick, you're going to have gap that you got to fill in there through the Bucks for this first pick, especially because other teams are going to go after this first pick with that. There's competition. Competition drives the price up. Uh, I I want to say you could probably. I think I gave them in my draft like a fourth and a fifth, and that was like under generous. Like I should have given them more because realistically, you could probably get another third out of them. And then a fifth and a sixth next year or something. They could take multiple picks along with Mike Evans for this, in my opinion.
Hmm.
I I'm in that mood where they could trade for them, but again, I understand if the Panthers or the Raiders pull something out of their hat. I think most assets lie out of those three teams, however, with the Bucks.
I think it's going to be the Colts. I think they try to leapfrog division rival Houston, go get
Mhm.
their guy. And then if I'm the Bears, I'm trading out of the fourth pick too. And I'm trading back again
Yeah, I
to one
had
of these QB needy teams because, Seattle had a great year, but Geno Smith is obviously not the long-term solution for that team.
Mm-hmm.
So do you go get one of these more raw prospects like Levis or Richardson? So, I mean, if I'm the Bears, I'm moving this pick twice. Like I'm getting out of the one, and then hopefully it's for the four, and then I get out of the four and just stockpile assets. But with that being said, I will take the first pick.
okay.
All right, stepping
I will
up.
do it. All right. So if there's one thing we learned about these NFL playoffs, with three of those four teams in the Final Four having their quarterbacks on rookie deals, the time to strike and make a Super Bowl contending team is when you have a quarterback who's young on a good deal and you can fill out talent around him. So even though Bryce Young, I think, is a better prospect than Justin Fields, probably a better player, probably ends up being a better overall quarterback. I'm going to go ahead and take Will Anderson here. Just a really disruptive force. He's the number one prospect on a lot of big boards that I've seen. Really came down to him or Jalen Carter to help that team go ahead and get some quarterback pressure. And this guy can really do it.
I agree with the pick.
Yep.
Not that it matters because it was your pick, but just to clarify, that's exactly where I was going to go. He's probably, I think I said it on my other show when I put that up, the director's cut show. He's probably the best prospect at their position out of this draft.
Yeah.
Maybe he's up there. He's up there. Like Bryce Young's a close second, probably, maybe. But I like Will Anderson the best out of on a 3 to 4 year deal. So you want two or you want three? I think we're both going to go the same place, Taylor.
Why don't you take two? I feel like the Cardinals are a
I
little
feel like
more.
I honestly I think 1 through 4 are kind of
Yeah.
off the course. Um, it looks like this is going to be Bryce Young right now. There has been, and I mentioned this as well. There's been rumblings about C.J. Stroud. I'm taking Bryce Young at the 2. It's no secret Davis Mills ain't the answer. I mean, it's not good with Davis Mills. There's other holes that need to get filled out, but we will get to those. So I'm not going to dwell on this one too much. It's pretty set in stone. Get your quarterback of the future, Bryce Young, to the Texans at 2. Taylor, you're on the clock at 3.
Yeah, I think this one is relatively straightforward, but it's definitely, in my opinion, a little more interesting than those two excluding trades. I think that value wise, they got to go Jalen Carter here. Um, but they like as you can see here, they have a couple other needs. And I think cor going cornerback could be interesting, but I just think that the talent you get from Jalen Carter at this spot is is such a good value and such a hopefully safe value compared to some of these other players like I don't know Brian Branch or Christian Gonzalez at CB.
Totally agree.
Okay.
Kid's an absolute monster. He can move around the line, explosive off the ball. He's going to be good.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Yeah, I
have
mean
said it better
some
myself.
places have him actually ranked or rated a little higher than Anderson.
Yep, I've seen some big boards with Carter ahead of him, and it looks like PFF has
ADP
Carter
wise,
ahead,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those were the two guys for me when I was sitting there at the one for the Bears. All right, so we're on to the Colts. Obviously, again, quarterback, need a quarterback. They're in a bit of a different situation than the Texans. Obviously, they have a roster around them that's not just completely devoid of talent like Texans. Um, and I know that Levis has been moving up boards, and he's good. He's got the arm strength. He's getting a lot of comparisons to obviously Josh Allen. And I think
Are you sure about that?
I've definitely seen the comparisons. I don't know if I'm on board with him growing into a Josh Allen, but the physical traits are obviously there for those two. But I am going with the more polished prospect in terms of passing ability and somebody who's a full 2 years younger. And I'm going to go ahead and take CJ Stroud. And I think when you have the roster around him that the Colts have, you can actually put together a more basic kind of game plan to be successful with him. And, a situation again where as long as the quarterback's not killing you and turning the ball over like Matt Ryan, you can be in these games. So I'm going with Stroud there, and he's moved up my boards quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, that's the biggest. Like, I think that's been the conversation. Words are difficult. With not only the Colts but with the Texans and overtaking Bryce Young. So, quick question: CJ Stroud goes to the Texans. They're still taking Bryce Young ahead of Will Levis, right? I say yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like it's slam dunk. That puts me back with the Seahawks, and this is probably the first.
Interesting pick.
Yeah, I mean, that pick between Stroud and Levis kind of makes 7 interesting, but those two will kind of correlate between. I, man, what a year! You trade Russell Wilson, you end up with the 5th pick, and you still almost made. Yeah, I'll dwell on that later.
And you made the playoffs.
Right. Absolutely. Um, I've been going so many different directions. I'll just show the analysis because some of this is interesting. How does Will Anderson slip to 5? 19% of the time. How does Jalen Carter slip to 5? 14.5% of the time. A combined 33%. There's probably at least 2 teams trading up to 1 and 3, I would say, that are looking for quarterbacks. Because I think out of the 4 teams in front of this, with the exception of maybe the Colts, they can all use one of these 3 players or 2 players. Um, I was in between Tyree Wilson and Miles Murphy. This team needs some sort of defensive help. I kind of like the idea of getting someone opposite um Tyreek Woolen at the cornerback spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna take the defender in Tyree. I think they need to fill a hole way more in the middle field. They are going to lose. I'm going to peek over on my offseason cheat sheet, which again I brought up the other day. Feel free to make a cheat sheet of yourself. Not to everybody at this room, anyone in this room, Ian and Taylor, you can use mine. But they're dropping more line than anything else. They lose one safety in Ryan Neal, But Cody Barton, LJ Collier, and Puna Ford are all free agents.
Mhm.
Defensive line and linebacker is where it's at. So based on that, we're gonna take. Oh boy, I can't get back to the draft.
Tyree Wilson. Oh,
Oh, because it's behind
There we
the.
go. Yeah, gonna have to use the old Alt tab. Gonna go old office style here. But yeah, long arms, 6'6", 275. He's got some speed behind him as well. So I take Tyree, and that puts Taylor with another interesting pick. Although I think we know where this one's going, at least the general direction. The Lions.
Yeah. If you hadn't taken Tyree, I was going to take him.
I'm nodding my head. You can't see it, but I am.
So yeah, I mean, there's a decent linebacker here. Drew Sanders, which they do need. Couple of cornerbacks. But I don't know. I mean, they also could use some edge here. Feels like a reach, although a lot of places do, a lot of mock drafts have them going for an edge, like Miles Murphy. Kind of feels like a reach to me.
Mhm.
Um,
His
based on, go ahead.
his ADP is exactly where their next pick is in this draft. I just want to let you
Right. So yeah, I think it's worth waiting and see if you can still get him later. I think that based on some of their uh, points allowed that we saw last season, I'm gonna go cornerback here with Brian Branch.
That's a safety, but that's okay. Not a bad pick.
quite
Oh,
fair. Yeah,
Yeah, they
I mean,
need secondary so bad.
yeah,
yeah, I mean, let it not be forgotten that the Lions hung 35 on that Eagles
right.
defense. Like that offense is good.
Yeah,
They are going to be one of the best offenses in the league next year. And
so
they
long
definitely just got to get better on the other side of the ball.
as long as
yeah,
DeAndre Swift stays healthy.
I mean, not really, right? He missed a ton of time this year and they still were putting up points. Chark was out for a long time. They got rid of Hawkinson, and they were still booming. JMO
Yeah,
wasn't even playing.
Jameson will be good. They won't have Jamal Williams, so you're going to depend on Craig Alexander this year unless they re-sign Jamal, which is a whole different conversation.
yeah. Wait,
Um,
did did PFF have him labeled as a safety?
yes,
Oh, a lot of other sites have him as a cornerback. Whatever.
I
Anyways,
believe he could even. I want to say he's a versatile. Yeah, they say his role is a slot, so if he's slot, he's more cornered than safety.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Anyway. Ian, back on the clock with man. It looks like your first three picks are all going to be quarterbacks, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but I am going to change it up a little bit here. I think most conventional mocks we've seen, obviously big boards have Levis up there. And I'm just as high on Anthony Richardson. So I'm going to go Anthony Richardson here. I think he profiles just as well as Levis physically. He's faster. The dude can absolutely run the ball when he has it in his hands. 2 years younger, so you can really develop him. That team is 2 years away from being a decent team. And you got to hit your quarterback picks. And if you don't, then you're another 2 years away. So I'm going to go Richardson here because I do think that he will have a higher ceiling than Levis.
I like that. Especially like you said, younger guy they can develop with McDaniel's a complicated system. Hopefully they can really build him up and get him used to that system over. I mean, they're gonna have to bring in somebody else maybe for this year if they really want to develop him. But yeah, I like that.
Okay.
It's done. Um, pick 8 Falcons on the clock. Uh, they need a quarterback, but do they need a quarterback? Like, could you fix other things? I mean, let's be honest. This is a run first defense or one first offense, excuse me. And Tyler Algier, he did perfectly fine towards the end of the season specifically, but he did perfectly fine. I didn't know he had 1,000-yard season.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
When I
I
heard that, I
literally,
was very surprised.
right, man came out of nowhere. Then again, it's not real hard when literally, like I said, your team only runs. So I'm gonna leave quarterback alone. I'll leave Will Levis for later. Excuse me. But I'm gonna take. I wanted some help on this secondary. I want some help on this defense, but mostly secondary. This team was like 23rd against opposing wide receivers, and honestly, that felt high. Like there's a couple good games in there. I still tend to forget that the Falcons beat the 49ers in like week 3. That was the thing that happened and made me nauseous when I remembered it. Um, it's between Devon Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez. Witherspoon, another one kind of climbing up boards, overtook Gonzalez in a lot of boards. Gonzalez is probably the best long-term pick at quarterback, cornerback. There's no T in that word. I'm gonna take Witherspoon. It's a little more friendly in my opinion. I haven't done a whole heck of a lot of research. It looks like he has better speed. But yeah, I'll go with the defensive help that the Falcons need. I'm not gonna spend a lot of dwell on it. Taylor,
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward.
do our Panthers some justice.
Yeah, we'll go. I always say Levis, but how is it? It is Levis. Okay.
But yeah,
Levis.
Levis.
It's not Levi's, so
I wonder how much my bias of this man putting mayonnaise in his coffee is.
I have not heard that. That is disgusting.
That is a
I like
hot
mayonnaise.
Take.
No,
that is a hot take. Like
he puts, bro. He puts
hot take.
Yeah, dude. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
Wow.
Does he really?
I like mayonnaise.
Are you being serious right now?
I'm dead ass. Go Google it. Dead ass serious. 100%. I put it in the 53 chat.
Oh, did you? I did not see that.
It was a while ago though, because I've known about this for months and months.
Wow.
I mean, if it's anything to do with mayonnaise, you would know.
Good God.
Now, again, I guess maybe it really has seeped into my brain that I just don't like this dude that much. I think that Panthers team is one good offensive tackle away from being very formidable, especially in an absolutely fucking terrible division. Can we curse on this?
Too late.
We let it slip every once in a while.
Okay. In that absolutely awful division, now devoid of Tom Brady as well. I think with Darnold, you got DJ Moore. Obviously, Deonta Foreman came on hot. They still got Chuba. I think I like it. I could see going offensive tackle there as well. But I will get to my pick. Obviously,
well, actually, real quick, to your point, I very much. So they have Matt Corral, which Derek, you and I have actually, or at least myself, have been completely forgetting to mention him because he got hurt and he didn't play at all. Yeah. I think that he's actually, if you look at some of the rankings grade-wise, he was graded higher than Levis. Yeah. And to your point, Sam Darnold, if they re-sign him, I like that much more. So yeah, I could totally get behind that, but I guess I'm going kind of with the grain here. A lot of people going Levis here, but yeah,
definitely can't hate that pick in regards to that team. I guess it just comes down to how they see themselves next year.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So on the clock here with a stacked roster.
Yeah.
Obviously going to lose some pieces.
It's almost unfair.
In this offseason, you're going to have to pay Jalen now for sure.
The American Eagle has had swings of fortune every bit as dramatic as those of the United States.
The American Eagle. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. Yeah, it's not a sexy pick. It's not an explosive pick here, but you can never have too many corners when you're a team like Philly, who's going to be competing again next year. So I'm going to go ahead and take Christian Gonzalez.
I'm sexy and I know it.
Obviously, Chauncey Gardner is up. His contract's up. They're going to have to figure out if they're going to pay him. And he was a big piece for them. So Christian Gonzalez for the Eagles there at 10.
There's a lot of pieces on that. I've hammered on it since we got to the Super Bowl. They have so many defensive pieces that are free agents.
Yeah,
a ton. Javon Hargrave, Ndamukong Suh, so I don't know why it's Sung. Linval Joseph, TJ Edwards, Kaiser White, Hassan Reddick, CJ, who's the other one? James Bradbury?
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
so.
that's basically every starter that mattered this year. So
Yeah.
I love the pick. Love it. Titans for me on the clock at 11. Wide receiver, I like you can draft a wide receiver, but I immediately hate their fantasy value because of what that team did to wide receivers last year. Just being honest. Tackle, okay. I think if you're gonna, especially if you're gonna let go Taylor Lewan, I don't hate tackle here. Edge, I think fits the profile more. I mentioned this to Taylor in a previous show, and I'll say it again here. This team has 1 year left on so many important pieces. Jeffrey Simmons, Derrick Henry. I think David Long's a free agent this year. Who's the other linebacker? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. They're all like free agents in the next 12 months. Your rebuild it starts now. You can't wait and do it all in 1 year. You have to figure out something with Derrick Henry, which is your biggest problem, I think. But it starts with this pick here. I'm going to take Lucas Van Ness as their edge at 11. He has been climbing up boards like it's nobody's business. And there's good reason. He has good pocket push, long arm, rush, move. He has a really good power to get through blocks. He gets to quarterbacks. Man, let the man go and tackle something. And especially if you're going to have somebody who can run in division. And let's not even forget about Trevor Lawrence, who also has all of a sudden learned how to run in the last season. Let him go. Let him chase. Lucas Van Ness is pick 11. That's going to put Taylor on with the Texans here at pick 12. May you have the floor, good sir.
Yeah. Interesting that they don't have wide receiver as a need. I mean, I guess Brandon Cooks is still on the roster, but
they have a lot of needs. Calm down.
Yeah. I don't think he wants to stay around, so I think they're going to do something there.
They don't. He does not want to stay around.
Yeah. Because that is something I would consider here with all of the wide receivers still available. Real quick while I'm deciding.
One eternity later.
If I hadn't gone Levis, do you think the Titans might go if a QB like that is available?
Are you kidding me? They have Josh Dobbs. He was honestly like eye test. He was there with Ryan Tannehill at times. That's scary.
Yes, I think they would be very excited if Levis fell there.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we go
Why don't we?
Kancey?
Elijah Cansey.
Yes.
Just for an FYI, his ADP continues to go up and up and up and up.
Interesting.
And I have not put a lot of interest. He went from mid 30s to low 20s to now he's 19.3.
Yeah. And I do need to do more research, but I'm kind of buying into it. It was between him and Brian Breesy.
Brizzy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also not a bad pick. I'm impressed you didn't take the continue building the Quentin Johnson.
It was that was I was looking there or Jordan Addison as a wide receiver option.
All right. I'm on the board with the Jets. Yes.
You
Correct.
Okay. This team is it's their solid team. Obviously they have some quarterback issues, but we're going to go ahead and get the number one tackle on the board and get Paris Johnson Jr. here. No matter who's behind center, they got to keep them upright, and they got the skill players along every level of that offense to be good. So taking the tackle, not sexy, but an integral component to a successful team.
For sure.
All right. Well, that makes my pick, I think, just as easy.
I
Maybe
should have
just
done
as
the
easy.
math so I could have got this pick.
Why? They're not going to have it anyway. They trade down out of every
Yeah,
first round.
really.
I have been consistently just I've been trading a lot up with the Cardinals out of the pick 34, which is 2-3. I've been trading a lot with them because I think this is a good spot for them to take Peter Skoronski. This team probably needs a tackle. I'm going to stick with it because I think Peter Skoronski would be just fine. The other, you could make an argument. I don't know why quarterback is here. That's another thing. I'll let PFF go off in its little tangent with that. But tackle and edge are listed. I kind of agree with those. Wide receiver makes sense again. Between Quentin Johnson and Peter Skoronski. But they're not going to draft a wide receiver here. They love developing mid-tier players.
I mean, not to
Like
mention the fact that we have 0 wide receivers off the board so far, and their next pick is what, like 40, high 40s or something?
Yeah, and they'll be able to take like Josh Downs or Nathaniel Dale or something at that point, or trade that one down for 2 other picks in the 4th or whatever. I'll take Peter Skoronski at the tackle at 14.
Good
Now
stuff.
it's the Packers for you, Ian.
Packers for me.
For me.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Taylor. You're right.
So this one I've seen go a lot of different ways. I kind of feel like it's a little early, but I do kind of like tight end for them. But like I said, it's a little early. I think they're going to hang around for a bit longer.
Do you want a Packers fan perspective?
I would love one.
The Packers fan just walked in. Gave the thumbs down on a tight end here.
Okay, I'm on board with that. I agree. I don't think they should go tight end.
I am as well.
I'm gonna go. I do want to know his opinion of this. I'm gonna go with Miles Murphy.
Edge rusher out of Clemson. Miles Murphy.
What does he think? He likes it. All right.
2 thumbs up for that.
Shout out to Snorby
there for sure.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Good value. All right, I'm on the board here. Commanders.
Yes, you can pick literally anything except for I think the only position they are okay at is wide receiver.
This is definitely an interesting pick. Obviously, this team has to find some sort of solution at quarterback. Another roster that is talented elsewhere, but lacking in that department. I think at this point, you're not going to get the quarterback you're looking for. So we will shift our attention to some other needs here. Man, tough. I'm going to go with, might be a little bit of a surprising pick here. I'm not seeing him on this PFF board too high, but a cornerback that is the son of a former player. This dude led up just 15 catches last year, I believe, at Penn State. And we're going to go ahead and get Joey Porter Jr., who has been moving downward on a lot of big boards that I've seen. But, once the combine stuff comes out, he's going to look a lot better.
Yeah, I dig that.
Yeah, I'm with that. They need some help.
And also,
Cameron Curl can't guard both sides of the field.
I kind of did that because the Steelers are next, and they would absolutely love to get their hands on him. And as aforementioned, my co-host on the North End podcast is a huge Steelers fan, so we're going to go ahead and snipe him here. and make sure it really feels the pain.
You would, yeah. I like that so much because that's exactly who I was gonna. I was eyeing for my Steelers pick. Man, the simple answer here is to try and go after this offensive tackle, Broderick Jones, out of Georgia. I feel like this team needs cornerbacks as well, which is why that hurts so much for me. And I'm not a Steelers fan. Because this team was 30th in fantasy points versus wide receivers last year. And you stop it. Like you need to do something. And I can't trade down either, which is the worst because there's really only, Deontay Banks is there, but there's Cam Smith as well, who's for some reason fallen well out of the first round in most average draft positions. I haven't found a reason why, really. He's fallen down to his ADP is in the 50s now. All right. I'll go with Broderick Jones. It doesn't make my fancy very tickled, but I will take the tackle. It's a place they need help with. Najee Harris, when they started running 2 tight end sets or more, Najee Harris was 32% more effective last year. That happened after week 11. So, pick 18. That's
Okay.
Hey Taylor. Remember what I said about that guy being available? He's not available now.
What?
Wait,
Miles Murphy
oh yeah.
going to the Lions at 18.
I was trying to remember if we were talking about him or Drew Sanders, because Drew Sanders is available, and it looks like his ADP is much lower than I was expecting. But
what is it? Because I can't see
86.3. But looking at the NFL.com prospect rankings, he is head over heels above any of the other linebackers, which is surprising to me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
If nothing else, looking at that ADP, I'm gonna stay away from Sanders since you could potentially get him
the
later.
super duper weenie world headquarters.
Do it. You won't.
That is a disgusting act.
It's interesting that I got both of the Lions picks here.
Mhm.
Why don't we go with a tackle?
Ooh.
Who do we got?
You're going off.
Sorry, not a tackle. Sorry.
How about this guy?
We're sticking on the defensive side of the ball here. Yeah, I was gonna say Breece.
You've pronounced his name 3 different ways.
Yeah.
And none of them are correct.
I like Breece just flows so nicely.
Yeah.
Brian Breece.
We'll put a rest in peace for that. I believe you're up with the 19, Ian. All right, Ian, you are on the clock. Pick 19, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers.
All right, here we are. Team's in a rough spot, and I'm going to go ahead and make a pick that should mess up the rest of this draft here, because I do think that this team is going to go out and trade for a quarterback or land a quarterback. I could see Derek Carr ending up there. Like we said, obviously they're way over the cap, but you can do all kinds of interesting, fun finagling with the NFL salary cap. You pay dudes bonuses up front. You extend their money. It's all like that. And Bruce Arians been around for a while. I don't think that he is prepared for a rebuild. So I think this team is going to go and shoot their shot at a division that, again, is really bad. And I'm going to go ahead and say they take Bijan here.
Ah.
Wow.
Lenny walks. He's got to go. You got Bijan, and then you also have son of a bitch. He's on my team.
I was gonna say,
Rashad White.
Rashad White. Thank you. Yes. So you got those two: Bijan, Mike Evans, Godwin. You're still got a high-powered offense. You put somebody in there, that team is gonna be able to score.
You think they're cutting Lenny? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't think you want to take on his cap by any means.
7 mil.
Yeah, he's also pretty hot and cold kind of guy. He
only a little, right?
I mean, not just in his play, but like his overall general attitude seems to be that kind of way, which is fine. But I think Bijan is just way too good to be. I mean, he's a Saquon prospect, and Saquon went what, 4th, something like that, to the Giants. It was a different time, but still, Bijan is a Saquon prospect. So go ahead and take the talent here.
Wow, he's a 5 million dead cap hit on that 7 million. Disgusting. Final years. Oh, so ugly. I like it though. It's different. It does shake things up. Who's on? Was I after Ian? I'm after Ian, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the Seahawks.
Damn, Saquon was 2nd overall.
Huh?
2nd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2nd. I missed that. I'm sorry. I missed everything I would. Shaq Barrett is a $23 million dead cap hit. Well, he's not going anywhere. Just looking at the contracts real quick. All right, so for me, man, the top 4 names on this board are all wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a team that really needs a wide receiver because they have Metcalf and Lockett locked up and through 2025 or 2026 respectively. Man, I hate all of what you have done to this draft, both of you. I'm just kidding. It's interesting because this is probably what the real draft is going to be like. And if I'm like this now, imagine what an actual team will be like when this crap happens during the actual draft. And they're like, oh, well, we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to figure out what we're doing. I'm going to take Deontay Banks. I'll fulfill my theory from earlier about putting somebody opposing Tyreek Woolen in the quarterback slot. This division has Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, hopefully a better wide receiver number 2 in LA. You're still going to have Rondale Moore if he stays healthy and Hollywood Brown in the same division as well. It looks like you're going to need 2 cornerbacks, huh? That was just a theory of mine. On to pick 21, which is Taylor. You have the Chargers. Hey, this team needs a wide receiver. Help them out.
Yeah. Especially with the talks of Keenan Allen being traded or
he's gone.
Yeah.
He's out of there.
I think that a good fit for them might actually be, I know he's not the top guy here, but I'm going to go Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I have been drafting him there the whole time. Please elaborate because I love it.
I mean, he's 3 inches shorter than Quentin. He's 6'1", but he's a solid 200 pounds. And I don't know if you guys have heard this, but both Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave said that he was the best receiver on that team when they played. So I think that unfortunately he's fallen because of the injury that he had last year. But
we missed most of the season.
Yeah, I think people aren't going to. I think the Chargers shouldn't sleep on that.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, he's a stud. Ohio State just keeps pumping out wide receivers. It's absolutely ridiculous. And now their best one is coming back next year.
Right.
Okay, sitting here. It's me, yeah?
Yep.
Ravens?
Correct.
Ooh, beautiful. Well, if the Ravens have the draft go like this, they are going to feel quite good. Obviously, the number 1 receiver on PFF's board is still here. He is not my number 1. Neither was Jackson there. So I'm going to go ahead and take my number 1, Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
Get some help on that receiving corp that is absolutely mind-numbingly atrocious.
Yeah. And he's more of a slot guy, right? And they already have some speed on the outside with Bateman.
Yep.
Yeah. I like that.
Thank you, sir.
Love that, honestly. They just give them wide receiver they need.
They would love it.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson might actually want to stick around or pretend that he does.
Right.
Because I don't know why they have. Although I guess they haven't been real aggressive in trying to sign him either. I guess it's also on the Ravens front office, but that's again different conversation. 23 for me. It is the Minnesota Vikings, my number 2 team.
Your number 2 team?
Yeah, Cowboys are 1. I'm a Vikings fan 2nd. And by Vikings fan, I mean I don't hate if they win.
Okay.
I don't hate if anybody wins. I guess it's a lie because I'm more of a football guy, but I'm like 3% Vikings, 97% Cowboys. So it was really, really good when the Cowboys slaughtered them earlier this year because I was like, man, I saw that coming. So they are line. It's all defense for this team. One of my previous drafts, I had them trading up to the Panthers with 9 and taking Brian Branch, and I was like, man, he would fit. This is something they would be desperate to do. Not so much here. I gotta kind of stretch for this one, and we'll be honest, it's a thing that's gonna have to happen here. Cam Smith 19.4% of the time. Joey Porter probably won't slip here, but he would have been probably my first pick if he was available. Man, do I go all the way down here? This is how far down this man's ADP is. I have to go to page 2.
Good Lord.
Right here, 62-1 for Cam Smith.
Damn.
Why? I don't get what is it? Like, do his prospects average out over like 3 years? Like, what is happening here?
Going for a 40 pick reach.
Right. It's almost a 40 pick reach. It's 6 by ranks he is. He also, that's not the button that I wanted. Oh, I gotta go all the way to the bottom of this. Oh, hate it. Here we go. Nope, don't want to pick Andre Carter.
Where's Ringo?
Healy Ringo's even lower. He's an 83. What? Yeah, ADP. Granted, I like both of them.
Question: is this ADP based on all of the user done mocks that have been done on PFF?
The ones that have been saved. So if you have a free account, from my understanding, it has not been counted to these.
Okay. All right. So people are these numbers.
Oh yeah.
These numbers are it's like
they're who's a little like who's line. I love it.
The points are made up and
yeah.
The pick don't matter. There he is. Keely's at 70. Keely's at 70.
Where's Turner?
I'm gonna take
everyone. Yeah.
I'm gonna take Cam Smith. They need cornerback help. I'll just get it over and done with. 24. You're gonna have to scroll too because there's either Osiris Torrance or one of those cornerbacks. So just let me know when I gotta go, Taylor.
That's who I'm going with is Osiris Torrance. You can can't you filter at the top for guards or?
Do I tell you how to live your life?
his ADP is 32.3.
Yeah, that's not much of a reach. Good guard too. I like that. It's something this team needs.
Yeah.
Okay, me with the G-Man. Y'all see that Danny Dimes wants $45 million a year?
Yeah, and I also want to own my own country. Moving along.
At least that's what's coming out in the news. So, or the social medias, the Twitter spheres, whatever it may be.
Does he also put mayo in his coffee?
He does not, to my knowledge.
Every time I think of him asking for 45 million, I just think of like Gettleman in The Office going, "You suck, you jackass."
I mean, again, if the draft breaks like this, and I'm the Giants, and I'm sitting where I'm sitting, I'm gonna go Michael Mayer. Sorry, watching a little too much Halloween. Michael Mayer here. I do think that this team is moving on from Saquon. I don't think they're going to give him the money that he wants. And I think part of the reason why that is happening is because they're going to invest in Daniel Jones and getting him this big tight end target, the best tight end prospects on the board right now. This Kincaid is not better than Michael Mayer, period. Like, no, he's not. So
what about Musgrave?
Musgraves?
Yeah.
No, Michael Mayer is the best tight end prospect in this class, and he's been the most consistent producer for a long time. Kincaid came on late here.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me with Mayer.
Nice.
So that means it's my turn.
Damn, you got my team and your team?
Sucks to suck.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Okay, now that I'm going to get sued by Michael Buffer, because like you can't do that. I guess that's his thing. If the draft breaks this way, how do the Cowboys not take Quentin Johnson here? Just quick question. James Washington worked out for 7 plays. You just drafted Jalen Tolbert, who you're not using. Michael Gallup is becoming inefficient by the game.
I mean, they freaking pulled in Hilton for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he was okay, but now he's a free agent. Noah Brown is a free agent. And probably will have many suitors because he's a solid 3rd wide receiver on a lot of teams. You have room to pick up Quentin Johnson. I'm not going to overthink it. Quentin Johnson. Moving along.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man. So I was listening to something the other day. I like the idea of the Bills actually going with a wide receiver here because Davis has kind of shown a little bit of some butterfingers. Although they do have Shakir, which I like, and I think he's going to have a decent season. They might try to work him in more. But they definitely need a slot guy. So Zay Flowers could be a good fit. But let's assume that they work with the wide receiving pieces they have. They were struggling to keep healthy people in the backfield. I'm going to go with Antonio Johnson here.
Please hold. There it is.
So
Okay. It wouldn't move for a second, and so things got scary, and now we're back. Ian.
Okay.
Blessings upon your pick 28.
All right. So you went safety there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Winning.
Yeah, again, another team that is loaded. And these offensive linemen have slipped a bit here. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Obviously they're locked up with Joey and Jamar. Starting to see some rumors that they might move T. Higgins.
Or Tyler Boyd.
If I'm the Bengals, man, I'm hoping Bijan slips to 28, but it's not going to happen. The kid is too good. So now remind me, I think he went. Yes, he went already. Okay.
They no longer have Hayden Hurst either.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the hot
Where'd he go?
free agency.
Interesting.
I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Let me double
Yeah,
check my sources.
he's on your list.
Okay. Yep. Your boy. They also have a boatload of money to spend, but that's you got to keep in mind. They got a bunch of rookie deals they got to re-sign.
Can you jump back to the big board there so I can
Sorry.
see who's also
Sorry.
been taken? We're at the top there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh.
Now this, I was looking at tackles, and I just don't know if there's enough for me to go Harrison here. So I'm going to go ahead and take somebody who we saw a lot in street clothes, Nolan Smith. He was hurt, but by all accounts, the kid is a true professional, a freak athlete, and anything for that defense to help get a little more pressure on the quarterback, force some turnovers to get the ball back to the offense is a good call for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go Nolan Smith there.
All righty. Pick 29, Saints. There's really 2 directions I could go with this. I can probably reach a little on Mozzie Smith. You no longer have Andy Dalton, who for some reason you decided to use all season and not use the guy who costs 4 times as much and was healthy for most of the season. I'm going to take Tanner McKee. He's the hot spot target here at 29. He has been climbing boards to right around this spot, usually either 29 here or I believe 2-6, 2-7. I can't remember which team. I think it's the Rams or Colts that go there, which I don't know why they would go to the Colts. They just took, in this case, CJ Stroud. But train him a little bit. Put him underneath Jameis Winston. No, Jameis Winston isn't Tom Brady. He's not, Patrick Mahomes. But get the kid some plays. Get him something.
Okay.
Build for the future. It's a different pick, and I'm okay with taking it.
Okay.
Taylor, you have the Eagles pick, and then we all have to agree on number 31. So make it good here, Taylor.
Trying to see when their next pick is, but do you think Jason Kelsey re-signs with them?
I do.
You do? I think I think that they would like that to happen. I'm just
Money's the issue.
Yeah. All right, let's assume he does. Then they are good this year at center. Why don't we go Steve Avila at guard? I don't really buy into they need a wide receiver.
I don't either. I said that on my show, my director's cut show.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, you can try and tell me that all day long, but I watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would need a wide receiver. Yeah.
What is PFF is on all kinds of the green stuff. That brings us to the final pick of round 1. Final pick of our mock draft. It is the Kansas City Chiefs. Your Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs.
Some are saying that you're bipolar.
I'm bi winning. Winner.
2 wins. No, 2 Super Bowl wins. That's why they're a lot of what I've been going with has been granted it's been my drafts have definitely fallen different than this. It's been more BJ Ojulari. What are your thoughts? Where are you guys starting with this one? I don't think they have a huge amount of
if Zay Flowers is there,
that's what I was gonna say.
It's Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
God.
Juju Dunlap. Offensive line and
it's Zay for me.
I'll go with Zay. I'm not opposed to it. Outrank Taylor, so you thought it was something else. You're wrong.
I was on board.
They can take a wide receiver. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Nice.
Man, I don't know how they'll develop their wide receivers. That's the only thing. I feel like they need more help on the defensive side for different pieces, different holes to fill there. But I understand where coming for a wide receiver is, especially if he's going to fall like that. So this is our first round.
Sky Moore stocks.
What was that?
I think you have Sky Moore stocks.
Well, I do, but he's not going to pan out. I also have Kadarius Toney stocks.
I like Tony, but I mean they need.
I'm on both sides of that working out.
They need another wide receiver.
Yeah.
Oh, so badly. I think you're right. I just hate to admit it because they didn't take it to any time to develop. But that you also have to agree. If you're saying that, then you have to say, Hardman at this point is not going to come back.
No.
Because you ain't got 6 spots. And then what do you do with Juju, who's been pretty vocal about, I kind of want to come back.
I mean, again, if Zay Flowers is there, he's better than Mecole Hardman, and you would get him at a better rate
than Juju.
And with Juju, he's free agent.
Yep.
He is.
I mean, if you get him on a team-friendly deal, you bring him back for sure.
That's fair.
Yeah.
First round mock, just to recap: Willie Anderson 1, Bryce Young 2, Jalen Carter 3, CJ Stroud 4, Tyree Wilson your top 5. Other notables: Will Levis going to the Panthers at 9, Anthony Richardson going to the Raiders at 7, Miles Murphy going to Green Bay in the first round, Jackson Smith and Jigba going to the Chargers, Cam Smith going to the Vikings, Michael Mayer going to the Giants. Hello, big pass catch.
Bijan going to Tampa.
Yeah, can't forget that one. Bijan going to Tampa Bay. Quentin Johnson going to the Cowboys at 26. Tanner McKee to the Saints at 29. And Zay Flowers to your Super Bowl champion Chiefs. So a really good draft. Me and Taylor in a couple weeks when we do our trade show, we'll probably do another first round. I think this time we'll run with trades. Maybe we'll talk about it. We'll have friendly.
It definitely complicates things, but yeah, we can explore that. Okay,
listen, we're gonna go ahead and get you a little Band-Aid. We'll call that a bitch sticker for you, and you will get over it. So we'll talk about it. It's a valid point because there's a lot that we really like. All three of us were chatting before the show. Right now, cap doesn't matter much because you can maneuver so many things, but there are certain directions teams are going to go and how that factors into what we do. So that is our first mock draft. That is going to complete this episode. That will be episode 43 of the Fantasy Flyer. Ian's going to be back for episode 44, which we're going to literally record about 5 minutes. If that. So, I can say it's really 44, but 43 and 44 are still 43, but it's going to be posted twice. So get over it. It's how we're doing things, world. Ian, you want to just sign off real quick for him and we'll see you in the next episode. Go ahead and do your thing.
A lot of fun, fellas. Thanks for having me. That was great. That was fun. I had a really good time.
I'm imagining me and Taylor plan on doing this for 2 seasons. I imagine we'll see some more next season at the very least, if not sooner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we'll be back in training camp in no time and getting ready, gearing up for the Dynasty League. And I will say I have sent out my first preliminary wheel. So I don't know what you guys are up to.
Can we trade?
No, we cannot. But I'm planting seeds.
Tampering.
I'm the assistant to the regional commissioner.
So now it's now we're using our power. I get it. Okay, that's perfectly fine. That's the way. Yeah,
that's how tampering works.
That's exactly how it works. If you have power, you can get away with it. Shouts out government. But that's gonna do it for episode 43. Stay tuned. Episode 44 coming out in just a couple days. This is probably gonna go up Friday night. So it's the episode 44, like I said, which Ian will be a part of, posted probably Monday. So for episode 43, as usual, I'm going to say bye-bye. Taylor, any words you want to say?
Peace out, y'all.
All right. And as we do, we sign off every show with the greatest master of game show history himself. It is Mr. Bob Barker. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Bob Barker reminding you, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.